Yes, Aunt Maleficent. Thank you, Aunt Maleficent, Aurora said dutifully, then leaned forward and snuck a quick kiss on her aunt's hollowed cheek. Maleficent's eyes started nervously. The powerful fairy had not asked to be the savior of the only people left in the world. She had not asked for the world to be destroyed in the first place. She had not asked to become the parent of a neglected princess. She probably wanted to just live by herself in her old castle, practicing her spells and communing with powers beyond the ken of mortal man, happily ever after. So, if she wasn't used to the hugs or kisses or other displays of affection Aurora had not received from her own parents, well, they would just both have to learn. Aurora would wear her down eventually. The princess walked slowly back to her room. The hall was empty, white, and inviting. But she didn't feel like twirling this time. She felt useless and desultory. Your Highness! A hand clawed her shoulder from behind. Aurora spun around, but it was just the old minstrel. His face was pale, and his long, narrow nose was pinched beyond its usual extreme. He seemed more degenerate and wild than ever. His clothes were torn in a dozen different places, and there were scratches near his eyes that made it look like he was crying blood. You are unwell, Master Thomas, Aurora said gently. She couldn't smell anything about him, not even the home-brewed moonshine some of the peasants had begun to amuse themselves by distilling. But he was so far gone that sometimes not having a dram drove him to fits. It's out there! It is! There is an outside! He looked behind himself wildly, and then grabbed her hands and pressed his own around them. Your Highness, I escaped! Unhand me! You are sick, Aurora repeated, only a little alarmed at his behavior. She was more concerned about his health and what would happen if anyone caught him touching her in such a manner. Familiar and ominously irregular footsteps came toward them. The sound drove the minstrel to hysteria. Aurora reached out and put a hand on his shoulder. Perhaps you should have a little lie down. But it was too late. Shuffling around the corner were two Maleficent's private guards, oily black and grey monsters who moved ponderously along, barely upright. They looked like they had been put together wrong. The minstrel's eyes widened in naked terror when he saw them, but he didn't take his attention off the princess. Your Highness, come away from her, singing human. The more pig-like creature snuffled loudly. Maleficent commands you slip it off and leave her heir alone. You are the key, the minstrel whispered, throwing himself at the princess so his lips touched her ear. She tried not to pull away. It's all still out there. Minstrel, said the other guard, the one with the comb of a cock and the yellow eyes of a demon. They each put a horrible clawed hand on the poor man's shoulders. They swung him aloft like he was no more than a speck of dust. Your Highness, the minstrel cried. The monstrous guards laughed. Sing for us, and we might not hurt you too much on the way to the dungeon. Please be easy on him, Aurora urged. He is having a fit of some kind. He needs a doctor, not a beating. Sing, the second one commanded, ignoring her. Neither monster bothered to bow as they walked away. Sing! The minstrel tried his best. tears running down his bloody face, borne aloft on the shoulders of nightmares. Douche, douche dame jolie. Aurora watched him go, with sadness and horror. And maybe, just maybe, a tiny spark of something too hideous to admit. Relief that the afternoon had become more interesting. After they were out of sight, all that remained was a quickly fading song, streaming through the hall like smoke. Pour Dieu ne pensez mi, qu'Angelica signori, sur moi pour vous seulement. Aurora noticed her hands were still clasped where the minstrel had held them. When she pulled them apart, she found he had pressed something there for her to hold. She held it up in wonder. It was a single brilliant blue feather. Hey guys, this is Angelica. I'm so sorry for the really late upload because I've been sick for the last month, like a lot of sickness, and if you guys notice, I still have like some kind of flu, so my voice is a bit different from usual, and it's kind of make me hard to breathe as well. So maybe it's like I was finding hard time to breathe when I was reading the story. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. And if you like it, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe as well. Therefore, you will find out when I made new videos or something like that, you know. And thank you once again, and I'm sorry for the really late upload. That's the last time I'm gonna apologize, so don't worry. Yeah, anyway, have a nice day and see you on the other story. Bye bye.